Commander Washburn, Triton signature detected in the Ares system, calling all clear for material assimilation. Commander Adrian Washburn expected the Triton asset to acquire the mining station in a day or two, not a mere 8 hours. What kind of man was this? Was he even a man at all? Washburn had seen soldiers with the Triton augmentations carry out missions before, but nothing like this. How was he supposed to respond to this? Set course for the mining station and prepare cargo holds for direct envelopment of the target. Aye, sir. There was no mistaking the commander's tone for one of no surprise, even though in fact he was just that. He had never dealt with or even heard of this Triton soldier. He had just showed up on the command deck this morning and requested the use of a confiscated shuttle from the Resistance. He knew Triton soldiers chose their own missions, but he didn't even know how this one made it on board. All Tritons that he ever had on his ship were stated on the manifest and given a port of harbor. Being that he didn't even know about this one, made him wonder how many of these freaks made his vessel a waypoint on their missions. When this Triton made himself known, his identity scan showed a clearance higher than Washburn's, and no name. There were only orders embedded into his identification that demanded all Origin personnel comply with all requests and demands from the corresponding individual. There was no rank, only the Triton symbol that Washburn had become familiar with before. Never had he been a part of a Triton mission. He certainly wanted a few words with this Triton. He didn't want him on board any longer than he needed to be. Navigation. How far away is the nearest reclamation outpost? 7.12 light years, sir. There's a wormhole generator 2.83 light years away. Should I set course after target envelopment? It didn't seem that Washburn was hiding his feelings entirely from everyone. Yes. Helm. Full sublight burned at the target. Let's get this over with. Washburn quickly left the command deck and made his way down to the cargo hold. Deep in meditation, Donnie Rejj sat motionless on the floor of the generator room that had become a makeshift prison for him. Without a doubt, he could spend the time to make his escape from his confines, but there was no point in doing so, other than that of concealing the fact that he had been outsmarted. Pride was something that didn't interest him. There was no pride to save from the crew of the Origin ship he contacted. He imagined that they had already suspected he was not the typical Triton operative. Commander Washburn looked quite surprised to see him show up on the command deck. Washburn did his best to conceal his reaction, but Rejj could see it in his eyes. His pulse quickened and his body temperature increased as well. It would take 3 days for a ship the size of the INF Brigand to reach the nearest reclamation outpost. He imagined that Washburn wouldn't enjoy the 3 days' journey, knowing that one of the deadliest weapons Origin had was on board. He was sure the stories were flying through the ship right now. Folk would say the Tritons could make a person decay from within just by using their mind. The victims would bleed from every orifice till they shriveled up like a prune. It wasn't impossible, he supposed. He had seen other Tritons that were more machine than man, and some that had immense power from their synthetic augmentations. It wouldn't surprise him if there was one that could kill with a thought. A loud clank rang out throughout the station, followed by a strong vibration. The Brigand was here. No doubt the tractor beam was being used for a total envelopment. He had hoped for such an outcome. Explaining every detail of the ideal mission outcome was impossible due to operation security. Plus, Rejj wanted to size up the intelligence of the ship's commander. More frequent than he cared to admit, many ship commanders were relieved of their command after a visit from a Triton. There was no training on how to handle a Triton commandeering your vessel for their own means. It often shows the true colors of an individual, and there is no way of hiding it, as the memory transfer and wipe that all Tritons go through reveals all. The whole station shook along with a loud clash of metals. Donnie opened his eyes and waited for the blast doors just paces in front of him to open. He wondered what kind of greeting to expect. Would there be armed soldiers? He knew that they would read only one life form, Surely they would take every precaution, though, in not assuming it was friendly. The blast door slowly opened, and to Donnie's surprise, Commander Washburn stood there alone. "Fancy to find you here," Washburn stated plainly. "There's nothing fancy about it. The station is yours. Take care it's safely transferred to the right place." "And where exactly would that be?" Washburn inquired. "I'm sure you've already figured that out, or soon will. I have no use for it, but it's funny that you should come aboard yourself, and on top of that, alone. Why so careless? Should I be fearful of Origin's finest? It might not have been so if the Resistance had their way. This could have been an ambush with a fake lifeform signature on top of one of those dirty bombs they like to use. This outpost didn't have a chance against a Triton operative. We both know that. What's a surprise to me is that there's so few bodies. I'm being told only one. Did you spare the rest? A target of opportunity best shows its value with fewer bullet holes. In your case, one." Washburn fired back promptly, but impressed. "Did you want to see what I could do or something?" "Just curious. Why don't you volunteer for the Triton augments? I hear they make you quite popular." "Oh, come on. That's a death sentence. I'm fine with my holochip, thanks." Almost all Origin military had computing holograms installed directly on their occipital lobe. Triton operatives were rumored to have hundreds. Rejj held 32 augmentations that focused on espionage and combat. "I'll see you on board, Commander," Rejj said dismissively as he walked past Washburn. "You'll be on my ship for 3 days, Triton. Any other missions I should know about?" Donnie turned and grinned, knowing that this headstrong commander might be more than meets the eye. Washburn might not like it, but he could be just the man that Donnie had been looking for.